Every December, as twinkling lights and festive markets turn Austria's cities into a true holiday postcard, the Alpine streets prepare for the arrival of a very different visitor from jolly old Santa Claus. With twisted horns emerging from a furry, deformed face and bloodshot eyes glaring from behind a grotesque wooden mask, the figure of Krampus roams through snow-covered villages, spreading fear among children and adults alike. Far from Santa's cheerful holiday spirit, Krampus is a dark, ancient reminder that not all Christmas traditions bring warmth and joy. This is Krampusnacht, a centuries-old tradition deeply rooted in the mountains of Central Europe. Although Krampus, the half-goat, half-demon creature that punishes naughty children, has long been known to Austrians, Germans, and other Alpine communities, his presence has not been confined to Europe. In recent years, this terrifying figure has found a new audience across the Atlantic. In the United States, his legend has been growing, proving that his ability to frighten, intrigue, and fascinate knows no borders. But what's behind this dark twist on the holiday season? Why has Krampus' legacy endured in some cultures, been suppressed in others, and recently re-emerged stronger than ever? This is the dark history of Krampus. To understand Krampus, you have to set aside the idea of Christmas as a purely sweet and joyful season. The essence of his legend lies in contrast. As Jeremy Segers, organizer of a Krampusnacht festival in Orlando, Florida, explains, Krampus is the Ean to St. Nicholas Young. You have the saint, and you have the demon. He taps into a subconscious desire for something macabre, a direct counterpoint to the sugar-coated Christmas many of us grew up with. But Krampus is more than just a figure of horror. He is a symbol of consequence. According to legend, on the night of December 5th, Krampus roams the streets searching for children who have misbehaved throughout the year. He doesn't act alone. He is the dark counterpart to St. Nicholas, the kind protector who, on the morning of December 6th, rewards well-behaved children with sweets and presents. While St. Nicholas fills the shoes of the good with treats, Krampus follows close behind, carrying a bundle of birch branches, known as Rutten, ready to punish the disobedient. And for the truly naughty, the consequences may be far worse. Stories say that Krampus stuffs them into a large sack and takes them away to an unknown and terrifying fate. Some versions of the tale even suggest that these children are tortured or devoured by the beast. Imagining Krampus is like bringing a nightmare to life. His body is covered in dark, shaggy fur, his face is wild and distorted, and his unnaturally long, red tongue flicks out as he moves forward. The horns on his head only add to his demonic appearance, reminiscent of other eerie figures from Alpine folklore, such as the Skyachtpurchten. Unlike Santa Claus, whose red and white suit radiates warmth and holiday cheer, Krampus has nothing inviting about him. He is a creature straight out of Europe's dark past, from a time when harsh winters and life close to the wild inspired chilling tales meant to send shivers down even the bravest spines. The tradition of Krampusnacht or Krampus Night and its terrifying appearances date back long before Christianity arrived in the Alpine region. Historians trace its origins to ancient Germanic pagan beliefs, where horned, animal-like spirits were invoked to ward off the ghosts of winter. The name Krampus itself comes from the German word Krampen, meaning claw. Some stories even suggest that he is the son of Hel, the Norse goddess of the underworld, linking Krampus to ancient themes of death and judgment. With the arrival of Christianity, Krampus was not well received. His beastly appearance and demonic traits made him an unsettling figure for the Catholic Church. In the 12th century, there were attempts to ban Krampusnacht, and this repression intensified in the 1930s when the Austrian government, influenced by the Christian Social Party, sought to eradicate the tradition, claiming that its frightening imagery could harm children. But despite the bans and persecution, Krampus never truly disappeared. Year after year, his presence endured, becoming a symbol that, though feared, was also cherished by those who kept the tradition alive. Today, the legend of Krampus remains alive in Austria and neighboring countries like Germany, Slovenia, and Hungary. Each winter, the Krampuslauf, or Krampus Run, takes over the streets in an event that feels more like an ancient ritual than a simple holiday celebration. Young men dressed as Krampus march through towns, striking the ground with sticks and shaking enormous cowbells, their echoes ringing through the cold night air. Spectators, whether locals or unsuspecting tourists, are often caught off guard by the raw, chaotic energy of the event. For many, seeing Krampus charging through the crowd, bells clanging and fury unleashed, is a visceral experience, one as old as the mountains surrounding these villages. With the rise of tourism and an increasingly connected world, Krampus' dark appeal has spread beyond the Alps. Around 2004, a book by art director Monty Beecham, featuring vintage Krampus postcards, introduced the figure to an American audience. These Krampuskarten, or Krampus cards, depicted the creature menacing frightened children, a shocking contrast to the warm and cheerful holiday cards Americans were used to. Krampus quickly became a cult phenomenon in the United States, inspiring parades, themed events, and even conventions dedicated to his mythology. Today, Krampus festivals have become a staple in several American cities. Orlando, for example, hosts its own Krampusnacht, where Jeremy Seggers and other enthusiasts dress in terrifying costumes to celebrate the tradition. Additionally, online marketplaces have helped spread the creature's popularity. On sites like Etsy, you can easily find everything from t-shirts and Christmas sweaters featuring Krampus to greeting cards with his menacing face. Krampus' popularity in the U.S. peaked in 2015 with the release of the horror comedy film Krampus, which brought the character to movie screens, blending dark humor with supernatural elements. Although it was a modernized take far removed from the European tradition, the film cemented Krampus as an alternative holiday icon, appealing to those looking for something beyond the usual bright and cheerful Christmas spirit. Despite his growing popularity in the United States, Krampus remains a unique figure deeply rooted in Alpine culture. In Europe, his presence still evokes both admiration and fear, especially among those encountering the tradition for the first time. In recent years, Austria has welcomed a large number of refugees, many from Syria and Afghanistan, who were unfamiliar with the eerie parade of demonic figures roaming the streets. For these communities, the sight of Krampus, with his terrifying costumes, clanging bells, and chaotic processions, felt more frightening than festive. In response, the city of Linz, home to one of the largest Krampus parades, organized educational events to introduce the tradition to newcomers. There, refugees were able to see the costumes up close, touch the props, and understand that behind the fearsome appearance lay a folk celebration deeply rooted in local history. Why does Krampus continue to fascinate, even during a season filled with warmth and generosity? Perhaps because he offers an escape, a release for those who feel the pressure of a picture-perfect Christmas. Krampus isn't here to spread joy or reward good behavior. He represents the other side of the holiday season, a reminder that, like life itself, it is made of both light and shadow. In a world where Christmas is often over-commercialized, Krampus stands as an antidote, a figure that brings back the ancient roots of winter celebrations. Whether in the frenzy of a Krampuslauf, the nostalgic charm of an old postcard, or the eerie fun of a holiday horror movie, Krampus has secured his place in popular imagination. For many, he is not just a relic of European folklore, but a symbol of embracing life's imperfections, a reminder that fear and fantasy can exist alongside celebration. So if next December you find yourself in the Alps or even at a Krampus festival in the United States, stay alert. You might hear the distant echo of bells ringing through the snow-covered streets. You might see a dark figure standing out against the twinkling holiday lights. And as a chill runs down your spine, remember, you just might be the next name on Krampus' list.